Hollywood Uncensored. I'm Sam Rubin. This week filled with so much scandal, we don't know entirely where to begin. Here's what we do know. We have a red-hot panel, free to speak their minds about all things. The last time I saw Gretchen Rossi from The Real Housewives of Orange County, I was driving her in my own car to the Beverly Hills Hotel. True?
Nice.
We'll explain a little later.
Yeah.
Mike Catherwood is a veteran of this season of Dancing with the Stars, the host of radio mainstay Loveline. Aubrey O'Day has a brand new red-hot single out in addition to her sizzling show on Oxygen. And no matter who wins on American Idol, they probably have Rodney Jerkins to thank, the super music producer and mentor this season. And let's start, shall we, with the bombshell out of Brentwood. The former governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger, apparently was passing a lot more than just legislation. This week, he was forced to admit to a heck of a scandal that more than a decade ago, he fathered an out-of-wedlock child with the main gal who worked in his and Maria Shriver's home. And then after the baby was born, still secret to Maria, the same woman continued to work in their home together for more than 10 years. Ouch and yuck. Gretchen, we've seen our share of affairs in CODA, but this is really skeevy on a new level, yes?
Yeah, this really takes it to a whole new level. I mean, just there's so much involved in this story. I mean, everything that I read about it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. It's really probably one of the worst, fidelity things I've seen in a long time.
And is there a different reaction between men and women?
I think, look, men and women, most men and women agree that it's terrible on every level. Infidelity in general, it's a bad deal. But the first thing you do is you say, wow, bad move, Arnold. And then most men I know are like, oh, I can't wait to see what this chick looks like. Because you assume a guy who's a huge, political figure, a huge movie star, you're like, oh man, I bet she's so hot. And then you get a look at the picture. And you're always disappointed, except for like Jude Law. He's the only guy who really kept his mistresses in check,
right.
Like up to a certain.
You're saying that they were cute. The maid was cute.
No, but at least it's like you can kind of understand. No, you can kind of understand. You're like, all right, Jude Law, you're drunk one night, you come home to that maybe.
No
Arnold,
way.
I don't even get it. I don't even understand it. If I was Arnold Schwarzenegger, if I'm gonna stray, first off, buy some condoms. $350 million in the bank. It's like $1.50 at 7-Eleven.
You could actually own a company if you
literally just go buy Trojan.
Let's be honest, they're both prone to delusions of grandeur. He probably has a very inflated ego. Usually those things come along with feeling very little regard for your actions and the consequences they have. I don't think it was about a condom or the ugly girl, which of course the guys would say, or the horrible heartbreak for the family and the wife, which is what the girls would say. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's a small slice of the representation of men in the society, and it's kind of being looked at like men will only be as good as their circumstances. And in actuality, let's show some of the men out there that do respect their families, that are good, that aren't cheating. I mean, there's such a desire to see this like salacious, and have these discussions about the ugly girl or the why or why not there was condoms.
True or false? Men are only as faithful as their opportunities allow.
No,
False.
that makes a
good punchline.
Yeah, exactly.
But Aubrey's exactly right. It's not very interesting to talk about an NFL player or a senator or a movie star that is faithful to his wife and is a great family man. But that's probably the lion's share of them. It's a lot more interesting to talk about the ones that are out, in the clubs with the playmates every night.
Well, speaking of talking, here's what Jane Seymour had to say about the whole thing.
I feel really, really, really sorry for that family. I feel particularly sorry for Maria and the kids. And I just think the best thing could be if everyone just tried to leave them alone. But are we surprised? Not really.
Are we surprised? Not really?
No.
I don't think it's because he's famous. I think it's because it's Arnold. He's never shied away from the fact that he's always been a ladies' man, and his giant ego is kind of what's led him to his massive success. And that comes with its upside and its downside.
What's funny is the phrase "ladies' man." You and I, we go, that guy's a ladies' man. We say that because we admire.
Is he a ladies' man to you?
I've never seen him as a ladies' man.
When I look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, I see like this big, scary, over the top, weird accent.
Yeah.
Face looks kind of like he was in an accident a couple times or something. He's not. No, he doesn't look like he doesn't like a ladies' man.
Right.
I don't think he's
but
like.
I don't think you
But
have to be.
are we saying he's a swordsman, and we say that with some degree of admiration?
Well, clearly he is. He has the housekeeper pregnant.
But I mean,
child.
but what's so disgusting to me is they said that he was doing it in his own home. I mean, like, I just
get a room.
Like, get a room at least,
This is
or
what I
something.
want to know. How did the wife not know?
Well,
I'm excited at the prospect of there being like a Mexican Arnold in 10 years. Like, this kid's gonna grow up and be like, look at me.
3 months ago, Arnold basically said that he might start doing movies again.
Right.
And I think we know now the reason why is because he got to start making money again.
Yeah.
Because Maria is going to take him to the bank.
She should.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, she should. She's been the woman behind that man, and she is the reason that he is who he is today within politics and everything else. So, you know, I just feel really bad for her. I really feel like she was there behind him. And
When
just stabbed her
Terminator
in the
28
back.
comes out, Aubrey, you first in line, or are you not going to go?
No, not at all. I mean, I was never into him so fabulously that I would put aside any of these discretions. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't love when people put pressure on celebrities like, you have to do everything right and be a role model to my kid or else. But at the same time, I feel like we all have a responsibility to be ourselves, and I don't think anyone has to be anything perfect. I don't even believe in perfect.
Well, speaking of imperfections, let me guys show you another comment. This is Paul Rodriguez, the comic. And he has another spin. He says maybe it's not entirely Arnold's fault.
I think there's a certain amount of fault of the woman in this case, if I may. You're in somebody's house. You know, you start dressing maybe a little alluring. I mean, you know, I don't have that kind of celebrity. But even in my small little circle of celebrity, it is sometimes embarrassing how they throw themselves at you. Luckily, I'm single and I catch. But
All right, he's saying that maybe the woman is partially culpable. We'll talk about that and more as Hollywood Uncensored jumps back in just a minute. Hey, welcome back. Have a question or a comment, rush to your phone. Text us right now. Text "My name's Sam" to 515151. We cannot wait to hear from you, and we hear a lot from Gretchen Rossi. She's back in the neighborhood. The Real Housewives of Orange County airs on Bravo. All right, before we went to the break, we showed an interesting bite from Paul Rodriguez, who said maybe the Schwarzenegger story has another potential villain. Let's look at it again.
I think there's a certain amount of fault of the woman in this case, if I may. You're in somebody's house. You know, you start dressing maybe a little alluring. I mean, you know, I don't have that kind of celebrity. But even in my small little circle of celebrity, it is sometimes embarrassing how they throw themselves at you. Luckily, I'm single and I catch. But
The only thing that's embarrassing is his shirt. Next comment.
You know what?
You don't like Tommy Bahama?
That's not even Tommy Bahama. That's the vintage store down on Melrose, dude.
Of course, with celebrity comes a lot more attractiveness to the opposite sex.
Here's
but
the, you
I know
know
way more famous people than Paul Rodriguez,
Right.
way more handsome people than Paul Rodriguez that are great family men that would never think to stray from
But
their
I tell you what,
wives.
you've been on the radio for a long time. But let's just say in the last year, filling in for Regis a bunch of times,
Yeah.
Dancing with the Stars,
Yeah.
people are now seeing your face.
Sure.
Not a bad mug.
Thank you.
Are you getting more play?
Yeah, if I could figure out a way to translate my interest in the gay community to ladies,
Right.
I'd be awesome. I'd be like John Mayer or Adam Levine or one of those guys.
People know you're rep forever, but Idol's a very big show. We're seeing you on Idol now, and more ladies throwing themselves.
People-
and you know
people-
what? Even though you got the ring, it doesn't matter, does it?
People will always throw themselves at you. You know, at the end of the day, I disagree with Paul because, listen, you have to control what you have. You know what I mean? Like, we have instruments, us guys, we have instruments, we have tools, and we can utilize those tools, but you got to know when to control it.
Well, the dilemma is I think he was utilizing his tools.
And that's
Well, it really comes down to character of a person. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, if you're going to put yourself in the spotlight and you're going to be out there and you're going to be seen as a celebrity or somebody in that limelight, people are going to come to you. That's going to happen. It happens, I'm sure, to all of us that have been in the limelight.
You two are both really good looking.
Thank you.
I think, thank you. and not just Rodney and you, Mike. I'm sure a lot of guys express interest, but it's, you tell me it's as many married guys as not married guys.
Oh, more married guys. I'd
Yeah,
say.
the married guys like it even more. Yeah.
And
That's
is that funny to you? Is that offensive to you?
Oh, I shut that down so quick, it's not even funny.
I think as a woman, especially women that aren't married, I think that, you know, I think that we will treat a woman the way we want to be treated. I don't think we want our husbands to stray, and we don't want anyone's husband to stray on them. I think if more women took that pack with each other, we'd be much better off.
The dilemma is, you know, as far as we know, Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't hold a gun to anybody's head. These are people who cooperated with him.
Oh, yeah. But I bet you in 2011, there's equally as many married women that are cheating.
I was just going to say the same thing. I mean, this isn't just a male issue. I mean, I think this is just, you know, a human nature issue. You know what I mean? As humans, we're attracted to other people.
But we hear the stories more about men, Gretchen, don't we?
Yeah, because they're
I
dumb
think-
enough to get caught. Have you seen that?
because they're
I think
dumb
females
enough
are
to
a little
get
more
caught.
sly with their business.
And
I mean, neither is right. But
I also think women cheat for different reasons. You know, I think a
Right.
woman's more apt to have like a sincere relationship with someone
Right.
else because her needs might not be getting met in her marriage or her relationship with the guy number one. Where a guy just sees hot chicks and
Right.
is dumb, and at our core we really are. No matter how sophisticated a guy is, no matter how intellectual he is, at our core we all have boners, and we're all these beasts that just can't be controlled.
When we jump back, a wild new reality show on the way. What do our stars, some of whom who have been in reality shows, think about it? We'll talk about it as Hollywood Uncensored continues here on Reel's channel. We thank you for watching Hollywood Uncensored, and thanks for liking us on Facebook. Check out our Hollywood Uncensored Facebook page. Clips, pictures, and more. And for your ears, Mike Catherwood, along with Dr. Drew, hosts Loveline every night on the radio all across the country. All right, for the new fall season, the folks at the CW proudly present Haters, a show where, well, the haters of big reality stars like Kim Kardashian and Snooki get to meet the star they hate the most and try to win them over. It's a real show. Mike, is it the greatest or worst idea you've ever heard?
If they can keep the caliber of people like Snooki and Kim Kardashian, it's going to be the greatest show ever. But when we start getting to, she was on the first episode of Rock of Love in 2008.
She was in the second.
Yeah, you're like, well, I don't care who hates her.
Right.
I think from a sociological standpoint, it could be very interesting to see how people who have been thrown in front of massive fame, you know, almost overnight, have handled people who are jealous and angry at them, or because I mean, I'm sure you guys deal with it a lot more than any, but being beautiful women in front of a camera, people are automatically going to hate you. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be a certain segment of society that's just
Right.
angry at you.
And do you want to convert them?
Well, okay, so here's the interesting part. I have two points to this. First of all, every single time that somebody, not every single time, but a lot of the times that somebody's writing something bad, yeah, I'll say something back and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I actually really like you. Thanks for responding. And I actually am able to convert a lot of people. However, it's not my mission in life to convert people, because at the end of the day, it's really about 2% of people sitting behind a computer blogging that are, you know, jealous or angry or bitter about something in their lives.
I think most haters actually do
Love
love
you.
you.
It's
Because I
not-
just think, like,
That's
when people
interesting.
have to pay attention to you, like, if I'm on Twitter and someone is saying, I really don't like his music, I'm like, yeah, but you follow me, you idiot.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so
Like,
it,
why are
It's
you
not
following
haters
me?
or lovers that you have to worry about. It's the people in between. And it is a double-edged sword, because, yeah, there is one aspect of our personal lives where we don't want to have to entertain any of that nonsense, and we have our own lives. At the same time, those are people that buy our records, watch our television shows, listen to us on the radio. Those are the people that are giving us our livelihood. You can never, ever count anyone off, because the more haters you convert are the more people that will tell the more people, and so on and so forth, and that's how you end up selling
you know the phrase.
millions of albums.
The phrase they use is close to the customer.
Right.
And you've got, and to be honest, and maybe that sounds kind of mercenary, fans are customers, aren't
There's
they?
absolutely no
Absolutely.
chance that someone is going to tweet Aubrey with something negative or derogatory to say that doesn't watch All About Aubrey. There's absolutely, you know what I'm saying? A random person that's
Right.
sitting there out of the blue doesn't come up with
Right,
that
they're
idea.
at least
There's no
watching
one's
it.
going to say something to Gretchen that doesn't watch Real Housewives.
Right.
And, you
And
know,
by the
and same
way-
goes with you and your musical endeavors. There's no possibility anybody has anything negative to say about you unless they're familiar with your work.
but I think at the end of the day, listen, everybody's going to have haters. There's always going to be someone, but I really believe that your haters, deep down, have a love for you, and that's why they hate on you.
But by the way, this show is all this show is Twitter, the reality show.
Right.
That's all this show is, first of all, which is a brilliant concept. Look at how big Twitter is. But beyond that, I'll say from personal experience, I've had many big journalists approach me, from people from the LA Times or, you know, legitimate news reporters that will come to me and say, we're going to write a smear piece on you anyway, so you want to let us
wanna
interview
comment?
and get
Right.
a comment or not, we're going to do it, so you might as well at least try. And I've had publicist after publicist tell me, don't interview with them, it's going to be a nightmare. I mean, I was told not to go on so many things that I went on or talk to so many people that I ended up talking to. The interesting point is, you're no better off if you don't do it. If you do it, you have the potential of explaining who you are, and I'm never scared to walk into a room. As an artist, I don't think you can, but you have to assume every time you get on a stage that the entire audience does not like you or know your music, and you have to make them do that. That is our job as an artist. You can never walk on a stage assuming they've heard your record on the radio or they love it. You do that and you put on lazy, half-assed, sloppy performances, nobody will care about you. You have to go up there as if everyone's gonna boo, and trust me, every big name has been booed on stage. It is a part of the game.
But let me play the devil's advocate with this show. At the end of the day, are we just advocating cyber stalking, cyberbullying? If you really think about it, there's now federal laws in place in regards to people harassing, the trolls that are out there, the things that are being said to really try and destroy and hurt people.
It's never.
So at the end of the day,
I
are
think
we?
the social networks in general have already done that. There's no way of escaping it. Social networks,
now you're
and
putting on a show
unless
and
you're a
you're
professional
condoning
Well,
musician.
but I think there's a distinction between saying, and forgive me, oh, on this episode, Gretchen seemed bitchy on Real Housewives, as opposed to somebody should put Gretchen's car off a cliff.
Right, but
You
I'm
know?
saying, are you going to get people on the
She gets
show
more of the
that are like
second than
that?
the first, I can guarantee,
But
right?
are you gonna now be condoning people's behavior and saying it's okay to act that way? And now you're gonna see a lot more bullying on the social media networks because of people wanting to be
get
the
on that
next
show.
star on the show.
Well, that's a fair-
and to me, that's scary. I mean, you
hope
have to
that
think
maybe
about
the opposite
that.
might be true. Maybe if you see a Kim Kardashian or a Snooki or someone who you look at as kind of being a success in reality,
TV.
breaking down and crying, showing vulnerability from cyberbullying, from bullying in general, maybe it'll motivate people not to do so.
I think it's a very optimistic view. I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen. When we jump back here, the crystal ball is going to happen because Hollywood Uncensored continues here on Reel's channel. Thank you, Mike. We are back. Aubrey O'Day is back on the charts. Hot new single is called Automatic. And what do Aubrey and me have in common? Tweet us both. You can find me at Sam on TV, Aubrey at Aubrey O'Day. And here's the thing with you, Aubrey, and with you, Gretchen, and I said this earlier, you're both very easy on the eyes. And I have to assume it's part of your appeal. Rodney, you have produced some very sexy tracks over the years. You host Loveline. So depending on what part of show business you work in, the answer is different. What makes something super sexy? Is there a super sexy sound?
Absolutely. I mean, musically, listen, most of the music that I make has an emotional feel to it. And there's times when I'll do, like I just did this one record last week called Dancing Alone, and it just feels sexy. The mood of it feels sexy. I feel like I might want to go home and play this for my wife and see what pops off for me playing it. It's that kind of record.
Okay.
Music can do that. It's a feeling. I know you guys know it's like you feel a certain kind of way when you dress. You might wake up feeling like, I just feel super sexy today,
Footsteps in the Dark, Isley Brothers. I cannot not have sex if that song
Great
comes
song.
on.
Really?
Angel of Death by Slayer. There's not any, I mean, once I hear it, it's just like, I think the key to sexy, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't feel like I'm a guy who embodies it too well. There can't be any effort into it. It has to be something that you naturally exude. And there's
Confidence.
and there's
Confidence is
different
a good word.
forms of it.
But
Yeah.
okay, it's confidence, but here's the thing I'm trying to get at. It's part and parcel, to a degree, of what you all do. So, I mean, you could have come here dressed in coveralls. You didn't.
I don't do that.
Okay?
No.
And you could have
I
worn
didn't notice.
You could have worn a T-shirt.
It's saying it's intentional.
This is one of my more conservative looks,
Okay.
actually. So.
No, but that's authentic to Aubrey,
Right.
and this is clearly authentic to Gretchen. It's it's the girl who doesn't necessarily feel comfortable in these outfits that tries hard to be sexy by putting them on. That's when there's the disconnect, and there can't be any real dissonance to it. I mean, there's only a small fraction, I think, of what is sexy is how good looking a person is. Sometimes
Right.
people who aren't necessarily classically attractive or beautiful can be off the chart sexy
Right.
because they just have that they have that
They're
essence.
exuding the confidence. I really think it comes down to that. I mean, if you're as sexy and as hot as you feel.
Oxygen wants you to be hot. Bravo wants you to be hot.
It's Oxygen, thank God, and along with Bravo, I mean, they're sister stations in the sense of they like women to be who they are.
Right,
They're
authentic.
women networks. They like
Right.
For me, what I think is sexy is owning who you are. I mean, there's some of the most embarrassing moments that I've had, whether it be on my show All About Aubrey or whether it be with Danity Kane on Making the Band, any of that. And they're the most memorable moments to everyone out there that watches me and observes me. And I think to myself, wait, you don't remember when I sang it? You know, Madison
Right.
Square Garden, or I did this, or these great sexy moments that I had. No, they remember when I was crying, or I was scared that I was
'Cause it's
fat, or I was
relatable.
fired on national TV. Those are the
Right.
things that people held on to and love. People don't want to see perfection. I don't
They
watch
don't.
The Real Housewives to see someone put their kid to sleep or whatever. I mean, I watch it to see when Gretchen's gonna rip Tamara's lead out.
Which I did yesterday, so
did?
you'll
That's
watch the
amazing.
reunion.
Hollywood Uncensored returns here in just a minute. Guests of Hollywood Uncensored go gold class. It is the first-class way to see a movie and offers the ultimate escape for movie lovers, from the amazing lounge area to the plush micro suede recliners to the best food and beverages and service anywhere. Check it all out at goldclasscinemas.com. Oh, we welcome you back and open your ears to the charms of Rodney Jerkins, the superstar music producer, has been a mentor this season on American Idol. And now, time for the crystal ball, where our wise ones share with us their insight into the future. Here's the only criteria. They have to sincerely believe their prediction, one way or another, will actually come true. Gretchen Rossi.
Reality TV will take over the world.
Really?
Yes.
You don't think people are getting sick of it?
I think it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. They've now canceled all the soap operas. I mean, we're syndicated at 3 o'clock in the afternoon where soap operas used to be on. I really think that reality TV is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Mike Catherwood.
The return of To Catch a Predator.
Oh my God, I love that
Ah, woohoo!
show! The MSNBC reruns they were having the other
Did I
night.
see it?
The behind the scenes that
Listen,
they never aired.
Would Chris
Dude, it
Hansen
was
be the biggest star
amazing.
you could possibly meet?
He's A-list.
Love
Top of the A-list. Let me tell you something. There's only 2 shows in the world that I could watch the same episode twice and still enjoy
Yes.
it. Mad Men and To Catch a Predator.
Aubrey O'Day.
Gay marriage will be legalized on a national level.
Yeah.
There will be tolerance, acceptance, and respect for the gay community.
That'd be awesome.
Rodney Jerkins.
I think Scotty McCreery will be America's.
Are you even allowed to say that?
It's
You're
my
not allowed
opinion.
to be biased.
It's my
are you?
opinion. It's my opinion. I think he will be the American Idol.
As for me, horrible week, as we've discussed, for Maria Shriver, and this is weird but true. I think it raises her professional stock. Maria gave up a big career at NBC News when her now despised husband became the governor of California. Well, he's out of office, and because of both her talent and the scandal, I think Maria will be more in demand than ever. Her own high-profile TV news job or talk show or both. The deals are out there just waiting for her, and now, strangely, for even more money than ever before. What a terrific panel. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for watching. I'm Sam Rubin. We'll see you next time on Hollywood Uncensored.